Hello, you are watching Shalom World News. I'm Rory McLennan coming to you from Glasgow, Scotland. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. Scotland is witnessing a series of attacks on Catholic churches and shrines. In the most recent incident, a grotto of a shrine of Our Lady of Lourdes in Lanarkshire, in the country's central belt, was torched on Sunday night. The Carfin Grotto at the National Shrine of Our Lady of Lourdes was damaged in a suspected act of arson. The shrine attracts thousands of believers from all over the country, and it was preparing to celebrate its centenary in October of next year. Sancta Familia Media, who take press inquiries on behalf of the shrine, said that a man torched the grotto by setting fire to a pile of items, adding that police have begun an inquiry. A member of the Scottish Parliament has warned that physically challenged people like her will feel pressurised into opting for assisted suicide if new legislation is passed. Labour member of the Scottish Parliament Pam Duncan Glancy, who suffers from idiopathic arthritis and is wheelchair-bound, has slammed the Scottish assisted dying bill that is under consultation. The MSP also decried the lack of a safeguard for the disabled, making them feel vulnerable. She also cited the do not resuscitate orders imposed on physically challenged COVID-19 patients, which she said was a bias against certain people. A consultation of the bill, sponsored by Liam MacArthur MSP, will come to a close on December the 22nd. The UK Parliament's second chamber, the House of Lords, is also debating a similar bill sponsored by Baroness Molly Meacher. In spite of the unrest in the Indonesian province of Papua, the church maintains a vibrant presence and is blessed with vocations. Last week there were 2 ordination ceremonies in which 8 men were ordained as priests and 2 others as deacons. One ceremony took place on October the 12th in Bilogai in the Diocese of Timika, during which 3 deacons were ordained priests by Bishop Antonius Subianto Bunjamin of Bandung. The local ordinary is convalescing after a COVID infection. A second ordination was held in St Peter's Parish in Mawa, where Bishop Bunjamin ordained 2 men as deacons and 5 others as priests. The diocese stretches over a vast territory, from the south to central Papua to the north of the island. The province is also witnessing clashes between armed outfits who are seeking independence and government troops. A notorious gang in Haiti that abducted a group of Canadian and American missionaries has asked for a ransom of $1 million each to release them. According to Justice Minister Lish Quitel, discussions are now underway with the kidnappers to secure the release of the missionaries and their families who were taken at gunpoint over the weekend outside the capital Port-au-Prince by members of the 400 Mawozo outfit. According to the Ohio-based Christian Aid Ministries, to which the missionaries belong, 5 children, including an 8-month-old baby, are among the hostages. The country is witnessing a rise in the number of abductions for ransom by armed gangs who control vast swathes of territory. Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki has accused the European Court of Justice of trying to undermine his nation's sovereignty. His strong words came during a heated debate in the European Parliament in Strasbourg. The Polish Prime Minister also accused EU leaders of trying to blackmail his government into bowing to a central power. He was referring to calls from EU lawmakers to block funds meant for Poland, following the recent ruling by the Polish Constitutional Court that parts of EU law were not compatible with the Polish constitution. This development has been branded as a path to a backdoor Polexit by some political observers. Morawiecki stressed that Poland never agreed to the EU acting like a centrally governed European state, where its institutions can force member states to do its bidding. Over the past 5 years, the Law and Justice Party that rules Poland and the European Commission have been battling changes to the nation's judiciary. The Apostolic Nuncio to India has warned bishops of a southern state to stop priests from forming trusts or non-governmental organisations or NGOs, as they later become financial and political power bases. Archbishop Leopoldo Girelli sent a letter to the bishops of the state of Tamil Nadu, in which he advised them to put an end to the trend of priests founding and administering organisations and becoming their sole custodians, which he said is against canon law. Following his visit to Kotar Diocese in the southernmost tip of the Indian mainland, Archbishop Girelli found anomalies, prompting him to write the letter, urging the bishops to ensure that all trusts and NGOs are directly under the supervision of the diocese. Armed bandits have once again massacred innocent people in northern Nigeria. On Sunday, October the 17th, armed men ambushed a weekly market in Goronyo in Sokoto State and opened fire at people, killing 43 and wounding several others. According to a statement from Sokoto Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, the attack continued into Monday morning. As part of a military operation to crack down on armed bandits, the government had already cut telephone and internet connections in Zamfara state in early September. This was later extended to parts of Katsina, Sokoto and Kaduna states. Nigeria is reeling from bandit attacks, especially in the Muslim-majority northern states. Last month, bandits attacked Madama village in Kaura in Kaduna and killed at least 34 people. Meanwhile, in El Salvador, pro-life organizations have hailed the failure of efforts to legalize abortion in the country. Feminist outfits had filed a proposal to reform an article of the Penal Code that bans abortion under any circumstances. On September the 28th, an initiative of feminists named Reforma Betraíz had proposed to amend Article 133 of the Penal Code to make the voluntary termination of pregnancy non-punishable if the health of the mother is at risk or if the pregnancy is the result of sexual violence. The Constitution of El Salvador recognizes the sanctity of life right from the moment of conception. However, the effort to decriminalize abortion was shelved by the Legislative Assembly. The President of El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, has ruled out any reformation in the legislation related to the current abortion rules. The bishops of the English-speaking region of Cameroon have appealed for peace and protection of the dignity of life. This comes in response to a schoolgirl in her first year being shot dead by a police officer right in front of the Maliko Cathedral in Buea in southwestern Cameroon. The incident took place on October the 14th at a checkpoint in front of the cathedral, where an officer flagged down a taxi in which 5-year-old Caroline Ndiale Enonjene, her mother, and 3 other students were travelling. Reportedly, the taxi driver refused to give a bribe to the police officer and drove away, after which the officer opened fire, with the bullets hitting the child and killing her. People who gathered there then attacked the police officer. Speaking on behalf of the Bamenda Provincial Episcopal Conference, Archbishop of Bamenda, Andrew Nkea Fuanya, slammed the violence and called for the wise use of weapons by officials. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us again tomorrow. In the meantime, you can visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.